Hello everyone, this is Jake from CINECALIBER. In today's video, I will be reviewing episode 6 of the new season of House of Dragon, season 2. Now guys, I apologize as I haven't been releasing these on a timely basis. I kind of went on vacation and I wasn't able to kind of keep up with it. So at this point in time, the season 2 of House of Dragon has been completed, but I still want to share with you my thoughts and reactions to the last few episodes, starting with episode 6. As always, now this is my 6th review on the TV series. As I've said, there will be links in the description below for other reviews for anyone that is interested. So links for episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This also is one of my most anticipated shows of the 2024 year, and if anyone wants to check out those, there will be a link in the description below for that video as well. And we're going to get into it here, guys. I just kind of want to recap some of the things from episode 5 that will play a factor in this episode. So basically, in the last episode, it focused on the aftermath of the Battle of Rook's Rest. We had the death of Rhaenys, which was a huge blow to Team Black, and then we had the injuries sustained to King Aegon, with both Rhaenys' death and Aegon's attack being done by Aemon Targaryen, who now sits as the ruler of the Iron Throne, until his brother is well enough to resume the crown duties, which has also cast Alicent aside, who was kind of in a play of power, but is starting to kind of be squandered ever since Aemon took over. We then, of course, like I said, the death of Rhaenys is shaken up Team Black, and they have basically lost a great advisor and their largest dragon. We have Corlys Velaryon, who is Rhaenys' husband. He is considered abandoning the war altogether, but reconsidered thanks to Baela Targaryen's encouragement, and is being requested by Rhaenyra to become the new Hand of the Queen. At the same time, Rhaenyra is now desperate for a foothold in this war, and had discussed with her son Jace, who just secured an alliance with House Frey, the possibility of finding dragon riders from other areas of their bloodline, which kind of opens up a few possibilities for them. At the same time, we have Daemon Targaryen, as he continues to struggle to reunite the River Lords under his rule, as he had the one House Blackwood commit atrocious acts against House Bracken, which spread word throughout the Riverlands. And because of this, they have now blacklisted him and refused to fight or serve for him, which puts him in a precarious position. And it seems too Daemon may be acting on his own and not for Rhaenyra, but it remains to be seen what his ultimate goals are, basically. We had Rhaena Targaryen. She had arrived at the Eyrie under Lady Jane Eyre with Rhaenyra's other younger children, and we'll see more of that unfold here. We also had Alan and Adam, who have been kind of sprinkled throughout the season, and they make appearances here and there. And we also have a little bit of Hugh Hammer, which we will get into in this review as well. Basically, they've become more of an important factor. But that's the recap, guys, for episode 5. Now we're going to get into the review of episode 6. And we're going to talk about what was a hit for me, the good. So there's been some heavy criticism with the pacing of this season, particularly with Daemon's arc. But I have to say, I have honestly been enjoying this characterization arc of him. The episode does a great job continuing to explore his inner conflicts through visions he's experiencing at Harrenhal, as Harrenhal has been stipulated to be one that basically haunts its guests. But basically, these visions are basically influencing him while he's trying to make decisions on how to reunite the River Lords under his banner. The episode itself doesn't focus a whole lot on him, but he does have an encounter with his newly found acquaintance, Alice Rivers, as he seeks guidance on what he can do after destroying his reputation with the River Lords in the last episode. Like I said, this continued character arc to me just shows how complicated of a character he truly is, and he isn't as black and white as people think he is. And I do feel like, when I was watching this episode, that, there's going to be an end goal. Like, there's a reason why they're spending so much time developing the storyline, and this was just another piece to that, basically. I also really enjoyed the political plotting in this episode. as that has been pretty much the main highlight of the season so far. There's a moment in the episode where the small council in King's Landing meets, and Aemon makes an aggressive calls, such as forcing Kristen Cole back into battle to unite with the Lannister forces and take Harrenhal from Daemon. And then he's also requested that they partner with the Triarchy, who are basically a band of pirates, so to speak. And I don't know if you guys have seen season 1, they actually fought the Triarchy back then. So because of that, the small council's casted some doubt, but Aemon, being assertive, basically squanders any doubts that the small council has with him. And then we also see in here a little bit more. So Aemon had dismissed Alicent completely from the small council, which builds off from a moment in the previous episode where the small council disregarded any of her ideas, basically. She now has completely lost all control. And I thought it was a really, they really focused a lot on that character arc. It was very, very well done. And it's put her now in quite a vulnerable position as Aemon uses his newfound position to rival those he deemed wrong, those who had deemed him wrong. If you watch season 1, you can kind of see how, he was brought up and he basically blames a lot of his family for the way he is. And now with this new position of power, he basically can, I guess you could say, punish them, so to say. And we're seeing that a lot unfold here. At the same time, not everyone is happy with Aemon's new role, particularly Lord Larys. This was a big episode for Lord Larys as he continues his manipulations. He does so by confronting Aegon and convincing him that he has to get better faster to get Aemon off the throne, as he knows his place of power will be squandered by Aemon, who, as people know, has already called for Otto Hightower back to be his hand of the king. So, Larys wanted Otto out. Aemon bringing him back in just kind of squanders his plans. So we're seeing more of his scheming in play here. This was a big episode also for Alan and Adam of Hall, who were revealed to have been the bastard children of Corlys back in episode 4. Basically, in this episode, Adam strives for more greatness than just being a shipwright, while Alan is content living his life the way it's been. But he's also been made Corlys' first mate, which makes him a higher rank on Corlys' ship fleet. It's a nice focus, I feel like, on their relationship between the two, and there's a true moment for them also when Sea Smoke chases Adam and chooses him as his rider, which I'm gonna go into here. Kind of backtracking a little bit before we get to that moment. At this point, like I said, Rhaenyra has grown desperate to gain an advantage in this war, and her idea from the last episode was to have other members of the Targaryen line become dragon riders to gain an advantage over Vhagar, which is Aemon's dragon and arguably the largest dragon in the Targaryen dynasty so far. I thought there were some really great character moments for Rhaenyra here, as, this whole idea kind of goes terribly wrong when they try with a lost descendant from the Darkland family, as he is killed by Sea Smoke, which makes Rhaenyra basically doubt her idea. But that Adam bonding with Sea Smoke just adds a whole other layer to the plan that she never really thought of. But there's a moment in her weakness where we witness a passionate moment between her and her new advisor, Mysaria, who, I've really enjoyed her also growing as a character as well. I thought it was a very well-developed scene between the two, and I'm curious to see if, we're going to explore more of their relationship as the show progresses on. But yeah, Mysaria, we'll kind of go back to her as well. She has become quite a fan favorite with her secret tactics to kind of gain favor for Rhaenyra. We do get to see her plan from the last episode unfold, as she has people spread rumors, basically, that the royals are keeping all the food for themselves while the small folk starve. Not only does she do that, but then she has food packages delivered to the small folk by sea with Rhaenyra's black dragon sigil on it, which then incites a riot when Alicent and Helena go into town to perform a prayer. It's a pretty intense scene of suspense as the riot ensues, and then we also see Hugh Hammer amongst the riot fighting for food, as he also has been struggling to support his family with the blockade in place and now being forced into a lockdown by Aemond. So, and then finally we get a glimpse of Rhaena as she uncovers evidence of a wild dragon at the Eyrie. But basically, with these news, she confronts Lady Jane, but who doesn't deny it, basically. This leaves Rhaena in a precarious position as she knows that the Eyrie has a dragon plus the 2 baby dragons they provided in exchange for the Eyrie hiding the young Targaryen kids. So, yeah, I thought that was a pretty, significant plot reveal at this time in the episode. And, we'll see how that goes as the show goes on as well. But that was everything that was a hit for me, guys. Everything that kind of stood out to me that I thought was pretty interesting in this episode. We're going to go into what was a miss, the bad. Not a whole lot. This show has been pretty solid. The only criticism I have is that the pacing can be a bit off for some of the characters. I wish that we could see a bit more of Adam, Alan, and Hugh develop to fully invest in them as characters, as it seems focuses more on the 2 main Targaryen factions. But what was always an upside in Game of Thrones was their ability to incorporate all these characters into the overarching narrative. And here it feels like they just kind of sprinkle a lot of the side characters in, and there really is no real progression for them. But hopefully that will change as the show progresses. I will get more into that as the next reviews release. But that's really the only criticism I had here, guys. I'm going to go into the conclusion. So basically, despite some sluggish character pacing, this was yet another solid episode of storytelling and character building. We get to see more political maneuvering among the big players of the war, such as Rhaenyra, Aemon, Larys, and Daemon, while continuing to build on this escalating civil war. With all that said, I will have to rate this episode a 4 out of 5. I know this episode got a lot of hate, but really I think it was just a very solid episode of storytelling as the show continues to build. But that is all. I will be talking about events in episode 7 coming up here, guys. And this is Jake from CINECALIBER.